Hey there, friends and enemies, Joper here again, and today we got new information and a roadmap of upcoming reveals for Dragon Age the Veilguard, my most anticipated game for the rest of 2024, which is pretty wild considering we also have some pretty interesting looking games like Black Myth Wukong and Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2, but I am an absolute Dragon Age fan, so I cannot wait for this one personally. Now, tomorrow, August 15th, we have the release date trailer and announcement. I will be reacting to that because I'm looking forward to seeing when this is actually going to be dropping. I've been really looking forward to them giving us the release date for quite some time, and I'm anticipating it being in late October, and I'll get into why that is in a little bit. But overall, just will be extremely thankful that we will have an actual release date to look forward to count down the days to when we get hands on for Dragon Age the Veilguard. Then on the week of August 19th, we have a high-level combat and PC spotlight. Now, this is the thing that I'm looking forward to the second most, and the reason for that is I do feel like there are still a lot of questions about how combat will work. We have one less companion than past Dragon Age games. We won't be directly controlling them like we have in the past, and I think it's on the developers to really show us how we can make our Rook feel like our own, but also how the interactions with our companions in Dragon Age the Veilguard will feel like a setup that we are personally having influence on based on the different abilities we unlock, the interactions we can set up, how deep our connection with the companions are. That's all stuff I really look forward to. And right now, I do think there are a lot of concerns and question marks with regards to how we're going to interact with all of that in the game and make it feel like my gameplay is different from somebody else's and it doesn't feel like everyone is kind of going through the same motions. That is something that can be very, very tricky, and I hope that gets solved and answered in that August 13th spotlight. So that's just a personal preference of mine. I don't want them to spoil too much, but I would love to see how the optimization and customization really shines in this game, and that's something they have to prove to us before it launches. Now, the week of August 26th, we do have Companions Week. We've already seen quite a bit about the different companions. They released the initial trailer, which wasn't well received, but I do think the companions all look unique and interesting, and I will be very curious to see how we interact with them in the game. I'm a big fan. One of the things I love about Dragon Age games is your relationships that you build with your companions, the side quests, getting to know their backstories, all that kind of good stuff. I feel like that is vital for a Dragon Age game, and hopefully these companions shine as much as our favorites from the past. And that's something that is hard to do with all of the companions, but I do think with less teammates joining us in combat, they'll have to do a even better job of putting us in situations where we get voice lines, we get side quests, and all that stuff that allows us to connect with these characters in a very different way. So I am looking forward to that as well and finding out more about them. I hope they don't spoil too much, but I would be curious to see what they have in store for us there. August 30th, we have a developer Discord Q&A, and this is another one where, again, I don't want them to reveal too much with the game. It does seem like they're going a little bit overboard, and I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing, but after the backlash we got from the initial reveal and how a lot of people were saying tonally it felt different from Dragon Age games, whereas again, they've released trailers like that in the past with other Dragon Age games that are just for fun, and so I'm not necessarily concerned about that after what we've seen with combat, but I do think there are some questions to be answered, especially when it comes to having one less companion in combat, not really controlling your companions in the same way, how that'll work. I think all of that being answered would solve a lot of people's problems with the game, and just adding to the tone that we would expect from a Dragon Age games as well, I think will be very, very important. Then finally, on September 3rd, we have an IGN First month-long exclusive coverage begins. Month-long coverage means that this game will not drop until early October at the earliest. And then also September saying much more to come in September and beyond means that We are unlikely to get this game before October, and it could be October, late October is when I'm guessing, maybe even November, but we'll have to wait and see. There was a report that the art book is coming out at the end of October, and typically in the past, other Dragon Age games have had the same release week as the art books, so that would give us a little bit of an indication. But again, until that's confirmed tomorrow, we'll have to wait and see. The game has gone gold, so it is finished overall, which is also good news. There won't be a delay. We can't expect this to drop in 2024. Very nice to know. And overall, I'm really looking forward to getting hands-on. That's mostly what I'm looking forward to, because I do feel like this is going to be an absolute gem of a game based on everything we've seen so far and based on my history with the Dragon Age games. I think I enjoyed Dragon Age Inquisition more than most. I did enjoy Dragon Age 2. Obviously, Origins is very, very well received and well liked. But again, I do feel like going in more of an action direction instead of an RPG direction is a risk. But I do feel like ultimately it's where the series has been leading for some time, and I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing overall. Now, we also got some pictures that I think are pretty good looking overall. Little Rook picture here. Generic, I think, starting character. I would hope the customization is going to be a lot better. From what we've seen so far, it looks like you're going to be able to design your character in a much better way than this. This looks very standard Prince hero type, which I'm not really always a fan of. I want to do a little bit different. Now, this is another Rook character. This is going to be a elven character with your companion here as well. Again, I think this is a better look, but overall, I'm probably going to go with something different. Then we have, this is Davram, who's the character. He also, I really like his design, mostly because he has a little owlbear cub that will follow him around, or griffin cub, sorry, that follows him around, I think, in Baldur's Gate 3. But the companion is really, really cool, and I do like him using his little side animal to help you out in the game as well. Then we've got the mage here. She is sick looking. I like her design a lot. And I really think that she's a character, Nev Gallus, who, as a detective, part of the Shadow Dragons, I'll probably use her in my squad if I had to guess. Although I might run a mage, so maybe I will stick to either Davrin or having Tosh, the Canary Dragon Hunter. Having a Dragon Hunter in the team sounds absolutely sick. I've always been a fan of Canary in general, and I know that Iron Bull is one of my favorite characters in the franchise, so I wouldn't be surprised if Tanari is ultimately as well. But I'd love to hear from you guys. Of these three companions, if you had to pick one to join your squad, which one would it be? I think mine is Davern for the Griffin in the squad. I think that would be absolutely sick. But ultimately, I'm probably going to juggle all of them and rotate my party based upon which one I want to use at any given time. I hope you're able to, with only 3 party members at a time, I hope you're able to not be excluded from using the same class. So for what I mean by that is, if I'm using a mage, if having another mage on my team is super detrimental, then I'm basically excluded from using all the classes that I possibly could rock at any given time. That's my biggest concern with the game, to be honest, is I don't want to feel like, oh, I'm running a mage rook, so now I can't use a mage companion, or I'm throwing in combat, and that would be very, very frustrating. I want the chance to potentially run 3 mages. I want the chance to run a mage, a rogue, and a melee fighter, warrior type. I want a chance to kind of mix and match that in a way that I think would be fun and interesting, and not feel like I'm kind of stuck filling certain archetypes. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Maybe a glass cannon full mage squad would be hilarious, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of the new information. Expect me back tomorrow with another Dragon Age of Veilguard video on the release date trailer. My name is Jopa. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more Dragon Age content from me going forward. Have a good one. I'll catch you all later.